What's up, guys, and welcome to your 2011 WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view review. Yeah, no preview video for this, I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't have any predictions for this show. That's why there wasn't a predictions video. And also I wasn't here, but I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. I really didn't know what to predict coming into this show. Other than, like everybody else, I was buying this show for the main event. I'm pretty sure, okay, not for the same price as a normal pay-per-view, but they could have sold that match alone. People would have bought it. Not everybody. The people that stream would stream. The people that, you know, are more careful about their pay-per-view purchases might not have bought it. But, I mean, there's a good chunk of the population, I think you'll agree, that would have bought just that match. But we'll get to that when we get to it, won't we? We will start off with the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match. I just got points about them. I'm not going to give you a rundown of the match like I used to try and do, because I would be here forever, and I'm pretty sure YouTube would cut me off eventually. Points I wanted to point out. Sin Cara looked a lot different tonight. They finally got him out of the blue get-up and into something silver, gold-ish, and very much more. We're going to take you in the direction of Mysterio-ish, which is quite obvious. Also, because there's way too many people in this match, we did not have the blue and yellow, creepy, annoying Sin Cara lighting, which was awesome, was it not? I'll tell you my issue with this match. The Money in the Bank, especially when it was back at WrestleMania, where it's supposed to be... okay, side note, I hate that there's a Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I hate it because it was a part of WrestleMania. I hate it because when it was part of WrestleMania, they took a hell of a lot more time considering who was actually going to be in the matches. And because when it was at WrestleMania, there was only one match. The fact that there's two on the average pay-per-view waters down the entire effectiveness of a match type like this, like the Hell in the Cell matches, like the Elimination Chamber matches. If there's more than one, neither one of them is that special, is it? But anyways, when it was created to elevate people that weren't quite at the main event level yet. So my big problem is having guys like former champions or former people that were at least in the championship running already, Kane, Wade Barrett, and Sheamus in this match. Also, they're the three biggest guys in this match, and that's how we started this match, with these three guys going at it and having sort of like their big man moment. But other than that, there were a lot of different stories told in this. There was a fair bit of time given to the recently split Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel, which I thought was good. Gabriel looked amazing in this match. Obviously, because Kane's been in so many, and they pushed the fact that Kane has been in so many, he dominated a great portion of the match. Another thing about this match is there's a whole lot of guys in this match that have never been in a ladder match before, which was evident already, but the ring announcers, you know, being the winners that they are, really drove the point home and really made you look even more for them to make mistakes almost. You know, guys that are looking really awkward, don't really know how to move with the ladder yet, don't really know how to use it, aren't really comfortable climbing it yet, that sort of thing. Everybody did a great job in the match, but the ones that were new, which was most of them, you could really tell. One thing I did like, though, is they did cut loose a little more with the smaller guys. Once the big guys got out of the way, there were several moments in this match that made me think that they were watching Destination X last week. Very free-flowing, sort of, you know, suicide dive, not quite so held back type stuff, which is really good, especially in a ladder match, because, you know, it's supposed to be hectic and crazy, and, you know, we want to recreate the type of magic that Edge, Christian, and the Hardys had at, like, TLC and things like that. Spot of the match, obviously, for anybody that was watching this, you can't really argue spot of the match was Sheamus powerbombing Sin Cara from the apron of the ring to the ladder that was propped up on the desk, through the ladder. And that was Sin Cara being done. It was a great spot, but Sin Cara being one of the high flyers, Sin Cara being one of the ones in the match that you really wanted to see in a ladder match, I think they could have used Sheamus could have used that spot on somebody else and kept somebody like Sin Cara, who's not only new but brings so much to the match. they could have kept him in longer and taken out somebody that didn't quite have all of those elements. Another moment, Sheamus and Kane hit a doomsday device on Daniel Bryan, and there was a very, very loud and excited Legion of Doom chant, or LOD chant, which I thought was really, really tasteful for the fans in Chicago to do that. I mean, it's obvious, but it's still really, really good to know that, you know, not everybody's five. People still do know where shit comes from. The closing couple of minutes is Daniel Bryan at the top of the ladder, sort of sandwiched between locking up Rhodes in something, or some kind of submission move, and getting attacked from behind by Wade Barrett, getting rid of both of them and grabbing the belt. Or not the belt, the briefcase, sorry. Daniel Bryan won the SmackDown Money in the Bank match. That's fucking awesome. Even he was, you know, for a guy who I'm not 100% behind all the time, not 100% excited about all the time, he not only broke out of his element, went a little extreme, if you want to be tacky, went a little high flyer-ish, which is not really what they push of him in WWE. So it was really nice to see him diversify what he could do in the ring and get the win on top of it. So, you know, no problems with that whatsoever. Like I say, the bigger guys like Kane and Wade Barrett, I'll take it back on Sheamus. Sheamus held his own. Sheamus was effective in this match. Wade Barrett and Kane, I could have done without, I'm not going to lie. We see Vince arriving in the back with a lawyer and with John Laurinaitis, saying, you know, this and that, walking around all pissed off. The Divas match comes up, and I go for a pee. The only thing I can really say about this match is the worst botched head scissor in history. That's it. That's all I've got. I turned my head. I really, really did. I'm not gonna lie. Kelly wins, which is awesome because at least we don't have to deal with Twin Magic. And eventually somebody good will get in the hunt, hopefully. We have a promo for SummerSlam. We have, coming up next, we have Mark Henry versus The Big Show. Very, very slow to start, which is pretty much what you expected with two big guys. I'm very, very biased. I'm fully aware of this. You guys know if you've listened to any more than one of my videos. I hate big guy versus big guy matches. I hate, you know, Kane and Khali, or Khali and The Big Show, or Kane and The Big Show, or Mark Henry and Kane, or I hate, because they just keep happening. Like, that's the thing. I don't know, very slow, so it was one of those, for what it was okay, but it is what it is, and it's not going to be very much. One of the supposed highlights of the match was a really, really sloppy single leg Boston Crab on the show by Mark Henry. The one decent part of the match, you know, Big Show comes off the top rope with a half-decent looking shoulder tackle for a guy his size. I will give him that, but it wasn't enough to save the match in my opinion. 2 World's Strongest Slams and 2 big splashes from Mark Henry gets Mark Henry the win, and then he sandwiches Big Show's leg in a chair and splashes it a la Vader, a la Yokozuna, a la whoever you want to bring up, and fucks up Big Show's leg. Now, Big Show oversells like a motherfucker all the time when he's actually injured, and he just ends up waddling around on the ground like a baby, and it's not... There was a point where he was good at it, and now he's trying to overdo it, and now he just looks dumb. So, that's that. The other thing is, because we're in Chicago, even while they're carting off Big Show on a stretcher, the crowd is chanting nothing but "We want CM Punk," which I think is beautiful and should tell you something about what the fans think of matches like this. Vince. Moving on. We have an interview with Vince McMahon where he looks very shallow and beaten down and basically announces that he was not able to sign CM Punk. So, and like I say, in this whole storyline, Vince just looks like a bitch, doesn't he? Like, he's taking it from CENA, he's taking it from Punk, oh, dear, dear, dear. Money in the Bank for Raw. One thing I have to say for the beginning of this match was it was bring your own ladder for this match. Every single one of them grabbed a ladder from the entranceway on the way to the ring. Some of them were little tiny step ladders, some of them were average sized ladders, and some of them were ladders that were actually appropriate size for the match. It has to be said, Alex Riley got the hugest pop out of anybody in this match when he was initially making his entrance to the ring, which I think is cool because I think friggin' Alex Riley's, you know, obviously if he's not already, he's going to be their next big face. big face as far as not being a superhero like a CENA or Randy Orton. But he'll be the guy that they'll put up against guys like Swagger, guys like Dolph Ziggler. Actually, Alex Riley versus Dolph Ziggler would be really, really good, wouldn't it? That would just about fit right now. We have an awkward 8-way ladder joust to start off the match. Everybody else falls out. We have Miz and R-Truth dueling for a little while until R-Truth is tossed out. Then Alex Riley and The Miz continue their rivalry, don't they? Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne, for the majority of this match, were either facing each other or teaming up against somebody else, and it went pretty much back and forth like that. Evan Bourne hit a nice-looking airborne from the tall ladder on the outside to all the superstars in the rampway. Miz fell off, took a good fall off a ladder, jammed his knee, and was taken out of the match. Basically, after the Evan Bourne airborne in the rampway, Miz came back and tried to climb the ladder. And when he was running down the ramp to come back, he got the most face-ish, huge crowd pop I've heard in a while. So, WWE, either push him, turn him face, do something, because that couple of seconds where he makes his comeback into the ring, that should be a hint for the WWE that they need to not have The Miz go stale, which is basically what he's doing right now. They need to do something with him. You know, the old expression, strike while the fire is hot. Well, the fire could not be any hotter on The Miz right now. Take the fucking hint. Basically, all the ladders get put up at once. All the superstars go up at once, so that all 8 of them are fighting over the briefcase at once. It was a good little moment there with them all up there, with all the ladders together in a big mass at the top. It went a couple seconds too long, but it was still really, really effective. In the end, it came down to Del Rio and The Miz. Del Rio distracted The Miz by unmasking him, at which point there was a botch with the ladders, and all the ladders fell. Del Rio set himself back up, got the briefcase for the win. I like the way this ended, except for the fact that it just prolongs the Mysterio getting unmasked just prolongs the Mysterio-Del Rio rivalry, doesn't it, until Del Rio decides to cash in the Money in the Bank against whoever the championship is at the time. Yeah, either unmask Mysterio, have him get all pissed off about that and fight Del Rio for a final time, or have him stay unmasked and go heel and go a completely other direction. To be fair, I didn't think with the shape Mysterio has been in recently, I did not think that he was going to be pulling his weight in this match, and he did, in spades. The only one that really didn't, my personal opinion, some people may not agree, is Jack Swagger, which is why I haven't said much about him in the review. Anyways, Alberto Del Rio is your winner for the Raw Money in the Bank. We have an exceedingly long promo about WrestleMania 28 travel packages. So, that's that. Orton and Christian. Christian has it put in his contract that if Orton is disqualified or counted out, or if there's any tomfoolery or whatever, he will be awarded the title automatically. So here we go. Christian comes to the ring and immediately tosses a chair into Randy Orton to taunt him. The way the match went itself was really, really kind of odd, because Orton was strong through the whole match, but Christian got the first pin attempt, which is a big thing. Christian got the first hit the first finisher in the match, which is a big thing. Christian also had a Chris Benoit headbutt somewhere in the match, which got a really, really decent pop, including from me. So that was cool. Orton, I don't know what it's called, or they're probably just going to call it an intuitive, or I don't know what the word is, creative neck breaker, but it was a gut wrench into a back breaker into a neck breaker, which was really, really, and he whipped it off with some force, so that was kind of cool to see. Christian spits in his face. Orton looks at him and kicks him right in the balls and loses the belt by disqualification. Oh, yes, I'm glad Christian is the champion, and because he's now heel, that was a great way for him to win. Orton lost his shit after the match, however. He lost his shit so much that even the people that were booing him were cheering his little temper tantrum afterwards, because if he had RKO'd Christian any harder onto the announce table, he would have been in the gravel, would he not? So that's it. So Christian is your new World Heavyweight Champion. And we come down to what everybody really, really, really wants to see. Punk versus Cena, and in the city of Chicago, do we not have a long, pregnant pause while Punk is sitting in the ring for him to get every inch and every second of the pop that he deserved in his hometown? Oh yes. Immediately when Cena comes out, you get the chance to say, you can't wrestle, and CM Punk is picking up on it. And every time somebody says, you can't wrestle, he's like, what, me? Me? I can't wrestle? Oh, him! Right, him! Like, the little intricacies of Punk's sarcasm and his attitude, and as well as his psychology, everything was on 110% tonight. I will say the match started off slow. If that's the only bad thing I can say about it, it started off slow. It started off with a lot of headlocks, rest holds, and stuff like that. What bugged me a lot, all three commentators in this match, Michael Cole, I could get away with it because he's a tool, but the other one, Jerry Lawler and Booker T, spent a majority of this match judging and berating the fans for cheering CM Punk. That, I know what they were trying to do. They're like, oh, why would they cheer for this guy? We don't get it. But they took it way, way, way too far. That's all I'm going to say about that. Turning point in the match was when Punk tried to hit a crossbody and actually hit Cena's knee instead, which I initially thought was a botch, but he played up the knee the rest of the match, so obviously it was how it was planned. He hit a really, really fucked up AA in the middle of the match, which was sort of just a front slam, whatever. The most beautiful, as far as being a fan and just being like, fuck you, Cena, the nicest part of this match was when he went for the you can't see me, and while he was doing the stupid hand motion, Punk just kicked him in the face. Punk hit a really, really nice suicide dive on the outside too, not gonna lie. And, you know, towards the end, obviously, it's a bunch of, I'll hit my finisher, you hit your finisher, I'll hit my finisher, you hit your finisher. We'll do a bunch of really, really high impact stuff. We'll have some high drama while we're both in, you know, either the Anaconda Vice or the STFU, and, it had everybody on the edge of their seats. It held us all there, including myself. I was on my feet for this whole match. I will clearly admit that I was a mark like a motherfucker in this match. That's why I don't have very much written down for this match. It was very, very typical towards the end of the match, but it was pulled off so superbly that the typical worked. Towards the end, Vince McMahon came down. He sent John Laurinaitis to go and stop the match, a la the Bret Hart Screwjob in Montreal in '97 that we all know way too much about already. John Cena actually stepped out and knocked out Laurinaitis and said, no, the right man's going to... I believe what he said was, the right man's going to win this, or I'm going to be a man and win this. So, of course, he immediately walked into a GTS, and Punk won and got the belt, and Vince looked like he was going to shit himself, which was tremendous. He didn't pick up a microphone. He grabbed a headset from one of the commentators and said, get Del Rio out here, get Del Rio out here, he's going to cash in his Money in the Bank right now. Del Rio eventually ran into the ring, and Punk basically kicked him out again, basically with a look on his face like, fuck you, this is my moment, fuck off, and then he left. And, you know, he blew Vince a kiss goodbye before he disappeared into the crowd, which was awesome. The headset thing I like, because if Vince comes down and picks up a microphone and says, well, screw you, I'm going to bring out Del Rio, and da-da-da-da-da, and they bring out Del Rio and they have another match, it's very, very storyline-ish, but the way Vince went down so frantically and grabbed anything he could, and the first thing he could grab was somebody's headset, we know it's not real, but it was more realistic of somebody that would be as frantic as Vince McMahon would be in this situation if it was real. That was a big ramble, and I hope it made sense, but that was what I liked about this match. So yeah, we have Alberto Del Rio with a briefcase. We have Daniel Bryan with a briefcase. We have Christian with the title, and we have Punk leaving with the WWE title. That is where we sit. We have Big Show back on the injured list. We have Mark Henry hopefully going back into obscurity, and we have the Divas pulling each other's hair until somebody tells them time's up. That is the Money in the Bank pay-per-view review from me. Best pay-per-view of the year so far, by far, but that's only based really on the two title matches and the Raw ladder match. SmackDown ladder match just because of what the result was. I don't know, that's all I've got. I'm excited. I really want to see where the Punk thing goes from here. That's about it. Other than that, they could have handed the Alberto Del Rio and Daniel Bryan the briefcases on Raw, and it would have been just as exciting. So, with that being said, I have been Spaz. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Let me know what you think. Let's start a conversation. And I will talk to you all later. Bye, guys. Wow.